Would you choose to build with a man from scratch, or would you rather enjoy the comfort of a wealthy man who has it all? Olive had that choice, and she chose love over luxury. She stood by her poor man, ready to build a future together, until life tested her decision in ways she never imagined. Olivia stretched lazily on the couch, her laptop open on her thighs, with a half-empty cup of tea on the stool beside her. The warm Lagos sun peeked through the curtains of their shared flat, casting a soft glow over the living room. She smiled as she typed the final line of her work presentation. She was always on top of her game, hard-working, focused and determined. At 29, Olivia had already carved a solid name for herself in the digital marketing world. Her agency was doing well, her clients loved her, and she always delivered results. Living in the heart of Ikeja with her two best friends, Ada and Miriam, made life even better. The three had been inseparable since university. They were more like sisters than friends. They shared laughter, tears, rent, and dreams in their cozy 3-bedroom apartment. Ada was a fashion designer with a fast-growing brand, while Miriam was a nurse in one of the top private hospitals in Lagos. All three of them were doing well, and they always supported one another. But while Ada and Miriam were in happy relationships, or at least navigating dating wisely, Olivia kept falling for the wrong men. It wasn't like she didn't know better. Olivia was smart, strong, and independent, but when it came to love, she seemed to lose all her sense. She had a big heart, maybe too big. She believed in building with a man, helping him grow and investing in his dreams. The problem was, the men she picked never stayed once they got what they wanted. Now she was dating Raymond. Raymond was handsome, tall, smooth-talking, and always full of promises. He claimed he was working on a tech startup and just needed time and money to get it off the ground. Olivia had given him over 600,000 naira in the past 3 months. He always said it was for equipment, logistics, or to meet potential investors, but he never showed her any proof of work or progress. Still, she smiled when his name flashed on her phone. "Hey, baby," she answered, her voice soft. "Olive, can you send me just small 50K? I swear this is the last time. There's this guy I need to meet for the business," Raymond said, not even waiting to ask how she was doing. Olivia didn't hesitate. "I'll send it right away." Ada, who had just come out of the kitchen with a bowl of cereal, gave her a sharp look. "Olive, again, you just sent him money 2 days ago," Ada said, sitting down. Miriam joined them a few minutes later, towel wrapped around her neck, returning from her evening jog. She overheard the tail end of the conversation and frowned. "Please tell me you're not sending him money again." Olivia rolled her eyes. "He's working on something big. I believe in him." Ada scoffed. "Has he ever bought you anything? Even common earrings?" Olivia bit her lip but stayed quiet. Raymond hadn't ever gotten her even a birthday card, but she convinced herself he was just trying to get on his feet. Miriam dropped her water bottle. "Olive, you are smart. Why are you acting blind? All your exes were the same, and they are always taking. How long do you want to keep doing this?" Olivia sighed and leaned back. "I don't know why love doesn't come easy for me. I give my best. I just want someone to love me for me." Miriam sat beside her and placed her hand on her shoulder. "You deserve love. Real love. The kind that gives back, not just takes from you. Don't let loneliness make you settle for someone who's using you." Olivia blinked back tears. She knew they meant well, but she also wanted to believe that this time would be different, that Raymond truly cared and just needed her help for a while. Later that night, as she sat alone in her room scrolling through old pictures, she paused on one of her and Raymond at a beach resort, a trip she had paid for. She looked happy, he looked indifferent. Still, she smiled. She was in love, and love, to her, meant giving. The lounge was dimly lit, with soft jazz music playing in the background. Gold lights bounced off the ceiling, giving the place a calm and classy feel. Olivia, Ada, and Miriam sat on a velvet couch, laughing as they sipped their fruity cocktails and gossiped about work, men, and the stress of Lagos life. "Tonight, we are not thinking about those broke men," Ada said, flipping her braids confidently. "Yes-o," Miriam added, raising her glass. To soft life only. To soft life, Olivia joined, clinking her glass with theirs. The night was going well. The air smelled like expensive perfume, grilled meat, and good times. Most of the men in the lounge looked the same, loud, flashy, and trying too hard. But then someone different walked in. He wore a flowing white senator outfit with red coral beads on his wrist and neck. He had the calm confidence of a man who didn't need to prove anything. He looked like a titled chief from the East, powerful, mature, and wealthy. His skin was smooth and rich in tone, and his grey-streaked beard gave him a graceful look. The moment he walked in, the room seemed to pause. As he strolled past where the girls were seated, something fell from his pocket. Olivia noticed it immediately. It was his wallet. "Excuse me, sir," she called out, but he didn't hear her. The lounge music had just picked up. Without hesitation, Olivia stood, picked the wallet, and walked over to where he had taken a seat. "Excuse me," she said softly, standing in front of him. He looked up, and for a moment his eyes widened in surprise. Olivia's skin glowed under the lounge lights, her natural hair tied in a neat bun, her makeup subtle and perfect. She looked like a painting, elegant and warm. "You dropped this," she said, handing the wallet to him. The man took it, his face lighting up. "Wow, thank you, my dear. God bless you. Do you know how many people would have pocketed this and disappeared?" He stood up gently. "Please, what's your name?" "Olivia," she replied, smiling politely. "Olivia," he repeated like it was a song. "Your parents gave you a good name, and such beauty too. You have a kind heart." He looked towards her table. "Are those your friends? Please, I'd love for you all to join me. I insist." Olivia hesitated, but when he waved politely at Ada and Miriam and they giggled like schoolgirls, she gave in. They all moved to his table. He introduced himself as Chief Odogwu, a businessman from Anambra who was in Lagos for a few days for some meetings. The conversation was smooth and he listened more than he spoke. He was funny, respectful, and obviously very rich, but he never tried to show off. His quiet confidence did the talking. They laughed, ate, and danced a little before the night ended. He didn't ask for numbers, and neither did they. It was just good vibes, good food, and goodbye. The next morning was a warm Saturday. The smell of fried plantain and eggs filled the apartment. Olivia was still in bed, scrolling through social media, when the doorbell rang. Miriam, in her short gown and messy bun, opened the door. A man in a neat uniform stood outside with a large smile. "Good morning, madame. I'm here for Miss Olivia." Miriam blinked. "She's inside. Who are you?" "I was sent to deliver this," he said, pointing outside. Miriam stepped out and gasped. Parked outside was a brand new sparkling white Mercedes-Benz, decorated with a red bow. "Jesus," she shouted. "Olive, come outside now!" Olivia rushed out in her wrapper and bonnet, wondering what had happened. She froze when she saw the car. "What is this?" she asked, shocked. "It's for you," the delivery man replied, handing her a small card. On it was written, "To the beautiful and kind-hearted Olivia, from Chief Odogwu." Olivia shook her head. No, this is too much. I can't accept this. I barely know him." Miriam snatched the key from the delivery man's hand and screamed. "Are you mad? This is a Benz. You must accept it." Before Olivia could react, her phone rang. It was an unknown number. She picked it. "Hello." "Good morning, Olivia. This is Odogwu," came the deep, calm voice from the other end. "Chief Odogwu? How did you get my number?" He chuckled softly. "I have my ways. I hope the car was delivered safely." "Yes, but why would you do that? I mean, it's too much," she said, confused. "I believe when someone's beauty and kindness touch you, you don't just say thank you, you show it. I'd love to see you again, Olivia. Can we meet?" Olivia held the phone to her chest, stunned. Everything was happening so fast. "Olive, you better not mess this up," Miriam shouted as she dashed into their shared room. Ada followed closely, both of them excited and full of energy. Olivia sat on the edge of the couch, still holding her phone, looking confused and unsure. "I didn't even agree to go anywhere yet," Olivia muttered. "Why are you behaving like you don't know the kind of man that just entered your life?" Ada asked, dragging out her makeup bag from under the bed. "Do you think these things happen every day?" Olivia sighed. "I still have a boyfriend." Miriam dropped the gown she was holding and placed both hands on her hips. "Boyfriend? You mean that boy that collects money from you like tit and offering?" "Exactly," Ada added. "Olivia, wake up. That boy is not your future. He's a full-grown liability. Look at what Odogwu has done in less than 24 hours. Benz, baby, Benz. Olivia tried not to smile, but a small grin appeared on her lips. You people just like enjoyment too much. We learnt it from you, Madam Softlife, Miriam teased, handing her a gold and wine-coloured Ankara gown with sleek lace details. Wear this one. Let this man see that you're not just beautiful, but traditional too. Olivia laughed and gave in. 30 minutes later, she stepped out of the room. Her makeup was soft and her edges neatly laid. Her gown hugged her body in all the right places. She looked stunning, like royalty. He's not ready, Ada said with a playful bow. Queen Olivia of Lagos and soon-to-be wife of the East, Miriam giggled. This man is our jackpot. Please don't fumble. Olivia rolled her eyes and walked out to meet the car Odogwu sent. The restaurant was a calm, elegant space at a top hotel in Victoria Island. Soft music played in the background, and a waiter in white gloves led her to a private lounge where Odogwu was already seated. He stood up when he saw her. My God, he said with a deep smile. You're more beautiful than I remember. Thank you, Olivia said, blushing as she took her seat. The conversation was smooth. Odogwu spoke gently, and although his Igbo accent was thick, his words were clear. He spoke about his businesses in Onitsha, Enugu, and even Abuja, from real estate to imports and agriculture. I won't waste your time, Olivia, he said after a while. From the moment I saw you, I knew you were a wife. I don't want to play games. I want to marry you. Olivia was stunned. Sorry? Yes, you're beautiful, smart, and respectful. I've lived long enough to know what I want. I want you as my wife. She tried to laugh it off. Chief, we just met, Odogwu chuckled. I am not a small boy. I know what I want. If you say yes, I will treat you like a queen. Olivia was flattered but unsure. She smiled and gently said, That's a very serious offer. I'll need time to think about it. They continued talking, but her mind was spinning. After about an hour, Olivia checked her phone. It's getting late. Our compound has a curfew. Odogwu raised an eyebrow. Curfew? In Lagos? It's the landlord's rule, she smiled. We lock the gate at 10:30. He looked disappointed. I would have loved to spend more time with you, but no wahala. My driver will take you home. As Olivia sat in the back seat of the black SUV, her mind was filled with mixed thoughts. Odogwu was nothing like the flashy Lagos boys. He dressed too simple, almost like a village man. His accent was heavy, his fashion sense questionable, but he was kind, he was direct, and above all, he was wealthy and intentional. Still, she didn't know if her heart was ready. She stared out the window as Lagos lights passed by, then whispered to herself, let me just sleep over it. The next morning, Olivia was still in her wrapper, brushing her teeth, when she heard a knock on the door. She rinsed her mouth quickly and opened it. It was their property manager, Mr. Ease. Good morning, Olivia, he greeted. Good morning, sir. Hope no problem? No problem at all. In fact, I bring good news. He reached into his bag and handed her a brown envelope. Olivia opened it, saw her full name printed on a land ownership document, and looked up at him in confusion. Sir, what is this? Mr. Easy smiled. The house you girls are living in, it has been purchased this morning, paid in full, and it's now in your name. Congratulations. Olivier's mouth hung open. Who bought it? I don't know. The buyer didn't give much info, just asked for it to be transferred to you immediately. Jesus, she whispered. Have a great day, madam, the manager said before leaving. Olivia rushed inside. Miriam, Ada, come here now. The girls came running, thinking something bad had happened. What is it? Miriam asked. Olivia showed them the document. Their screams could be heard all the way down the street. Olive, somebody bought you a house. Just then, Olivia's phone rang. It was Odogwu. Olivia picked the call, trying hard to keep her voice steady, hiding the bubbling excitement rising in her chest. Hello, good morning, she said calmly. Good morning, my beautiful queen. Odogwu's deep voice came through warmly. I hope you received my little gift. Olivia chuckled nervously. Chief, a whole house. That's not a little gift-o. It's too much. I don't even know what to say. Odogwu laughed gently. It's not too much, my dear. You are worth even more. And now you no longer have to worry about any curfew. That house is yours. Olivia didn't know how to respond, so she softly said, Thank you, Chief. You're welcome. I just want to see you happy. I'll call you later, my dear. Have a blessed day. As the call ended, Miriam grabbed Olivia's phone and started jumping in circles. Anan, do you people hear this? No more curfew because she owns the building now, she screamed. Ada danced around, laughing. We are now landladies. Olivia, please don't forget us when you're chilling with billionaires. The three of them danced and screamed until they were out of breath, but their celebration was cut short by another knock on the door. Olivia opened it, and there stood her boyfriend, Tony. Her smile faded slightly. Good morning, he said casually, walking in without waiting to be invited. Miriam and Ada froze. Without saying a word, they exchanged looks and walked into their room, slamming the door behind them. Tony sat on the edge of the couch and looked around. I saw a car parked outside, he said. That Benz. It's yours. Olivia nodded slowly. Tony blinked. You bought a Benz? She shook her head. Someone gifted it to me. He raised a brow. Who? Your boss? No. A man I met 2 days ago. Tony leaned back and laughed as if she'd just told him a joke. Ah, so they've finally seen MAGA, he said, chuckling. Perfect. Now we can milk him dry. Olivia's smile dropped completely. Excuse me? Tony leaned in. Baby, this is an opportunity. Call the man, ask for millions, tell him you need capital for business. We'll cash out big. She stared at him in disbelief. Why would you even say that? This man has shown me nothing but kindness, and all you can think of is using him. Tony waved her words off like a fly. Babe, calm down. It's not that deep. We're just being smart. It's not like you're sleeping with him. Olivia stood up, shaking her head. This is exactly why I get tired. I finally meet someone who treats me right, and all you care about is what we can gain. Why do you think like this? Tony stood too, pulling her close. Babe, don't let this small thing cause fight between us. I love you. I'm just thinking about our future. Everything I do is for us. He kissed her forehead and hugged her tightly. Olivia didn't respond, but she let him hold her. She didn't want a scene. Tony ended up spending the night, as usual. By morning, he'd left, after eating and pocketing some cash from her table. Olivia dressed up and went to work. At the office, her head was everywhere but her desk. She tried to focus, but her mind kept drifting to Odogwu. His calm voice, his intentional gestures, his sweet words. Then she remembered Tony's words. Let's milk him. She sighed, shaking her head. Maybe it's best I forget about the chief. I already have someone, she thought. By the time the day ended, she had made up her mind. At home, she dropped her bag and sat her friends down. I've decided something, she announced. Miriam and Ada turned to her immediately. I'm going to cut off Chief Odogwu. What? Miriam shouted. Wise, Ada added. Olivia looked serious. I have a boyfriend, and it's not right to lead two people on. I appreciate everything Chief has done, but I don't want to encourage something I'm not sure of. Ada scoffed. So what of the house, the car? Will you return those too? I didn't ask for them. But you didn't reject them either, Miriam said, clearly frustrated. You have a broke boyfriend who treats you like an ATM, and now a good man comes along and you want to chase him away. He's not my type, Olivia said softly. He's too local. The accent, the dressing. Miriam stood. So, you prefer a guy with swag but no future? Olivia, you need to sit down and think. Olivia didn't reply. She stood and walked into her room. Later that night, in the girls' room, Ada lay on her bed, staring at the ceiling. She's about to throw away something good, she muttered. Miriam sighed. If I were the one Chief met that day, by now I'd be planning introduction. They both laughed sadly. Olivia doesn't know what she has. She's about to throw away something good, she muttered. The next day, Odogwu called Olivia repeatedly. Morning, afternoon, and even into the evening. But she didn't pick up. Her phone rang, and each time she looked at the screen, sighed, and let it ring out. When the calls didn't go through anymore, Odogwu grew worried. So, he decided to pay her a surprise visit. He arrived at the compound dressed in his usual simple native attire, with his driver behind him. The security men greeted him with respect and admiration. Everyone knew who he was now. Odogwu knocked gently on the door and waited. Miriam opened it, surprised but not exactly shocked to see him. "Good afternoon, sir," she said. "Good afternoon, my dear. Is Olivia home?" he asked, his voice calm but filled with concern. "She is, but she's not really seeing visitors right now," Miriam said, hesitating. "I just want to talk to her, please." Miriam stepped back and went to Olivia's room. "Olive, he's here," she said gently. "Please just talk to him, even if it's to say goodbye properly." But Olivia sat on the bed, legs pulled up, arms folded. She shook her head without saying a word. Miriam returned to the living room and shook her head sadly. "She won't come out," Odogwu sighed. "All right, tell her I came by, and I will always wish her well." With a forced smile and heavy heart, he turned and left. This became a pattern. He called every few days, visited occasionally, but Olivia always found a reason not to talk to him. He never got angry or insulted her. He only left quietly each time, sadness written all over his face. Months passed. Then, one evening, Tony showed up unexpectedly. Olivia was surprised. She hadn't seen him for a while. "Baby," he began, holding her hand like nothing had happened. "I need your help." She looked at him, tired but curious. "What is it now?" "I need to clear my goods from the port. They're holding everything, and I need 20 million naira," he said. Olivia blinked in disbelief. 20 what? Billion. "But don't worry, I'll return it next week. I swear on my mother's grave." She hesitated. That money was everything she had saved for years. But this was Tony, the man she had stuck with. Maybe this was his big breakthrough. Reluctantly, she transferred the money to him. He hugged her tightly. "Thank you, baby. I won't forget this. I'll be back next week. Just wait." But the next week came and passed. Then another week. Tony didn't show up. His number was switched off, and his social media had gone silent. Olivia began to panic. She barely ate, barely slept. Her heart was heavy with regret. When Miriam and Ada noticed, they confronted her. "You gave him the money?" Miriam asked, eyes wide. "All of it," Olivia said in a low voice, tears gathering. "Olive, we warned you," Ada exclaimed. "I thought he would return it," he said. "He said he loved me." They both sighed and wrapped their arms around her, trying to comfort her. Later that night, as they all sat in the living room in silence, Miriam randomly opened her Facebook. Her eyes widened and her mouth dropped. "Oh my God." "What?" Olivia asked quickly. Miriam slowly turned the phone to her. It was a wedding photo. A mutual friend had posted pictures of a lavish wedding. The groom, unmistakably Tony, was smiling widely, dressed in a white agbada, holding hands with a beautiful woman in a stunning white dress. Olivia's jaw dropped. No, she whispered, scrolling through more photos. He was kissing the bride, dancing, throwing money, smiling like a man with no secrets. Tears rushed down her face as her friends gathered around her. "That bastard," Ada hissed. Olivia cried hard, holding her chest. "He used me," she choked out. "He used me and married someone else." Miriam rubbed her back gently. "Olive, Chief was always the better man." "I don't know what to do anymore," Olivia said, sobbing. Her heart was broken beyond words. Olive sat in the living room that evening, twisting her fingers nervously as she looked at Miriam and Ada. "Girls, I don't know how to say this without sounding ungrateful." "Say it, Jor," Miriam replied, dropping a spoonful of ice cream into her mouth. "It's Chief? I mean Odogwu. I don't know how I really feel. His heart is good. His intentions are real, but that man's accent, N? And his dress sense, always looking like he just came back from a village meeting," Olive said, slightly frustrated. Ada chuckled. "Nah, that one day worry you? You've dated fine boys with fake accents and drip, and they showed you pepper," Miriam added. Now a real man is in front of you and it's dressing and pronunciation that's holding you back? Olive sighed. But I don't want to be embarrassed. What if people laugh at me? Then fix him, Ada said, clapping her hands together. Polish him? You're a classy babe now, teach him style, take him shopping, send him to a speech coach if it bothers you, but don't throw away Diamond because you prefer glitter. Olive thought deeply about their words. That night, when Odogwu called again, she picked up. Good evening, beautiful, his warm voice greeted. Good evening, Chief, she said, smiling softly. No, Chief, please, just call me Chris, or Odogwu, if you like. She chuckled. All right, Chris. From that day forward, Olive opened her heart a little more. They began to talk often, sometimes late into the night. She found herself laughing more, smiling at her phone like a teenager. His conversations were rich with wisdom, stories, and sincere affection. Chris was patient. He didn't push. He let her ease into the relationship. And Olive, true to her friend's advice, decided to do a little makeover magic. She took him shopping, guiding him into fitted native wares, well-tailored suits and designer shoes. She introduced him to a stylist and a grooming expert. She even gently teased him into working on his speech a bit. Chris didn't complain. In fact, he welcomed her suggestions with so much love, telling her, "As long as it's coming from you, I trust it." Their bond grew stronger. Chris flew her in helicopters just to show her sunset views. He took her to business meetings in other cities where she met top CEOs. He gave her the kind of attention she had only dreamt about. One evening, after a beautiful dinner at a 5-star restaurant with a string quartet playing softly in the background, Chris got down on one knee. Olivia, I knew from the moment you returned my wallet that you were special. You are strong, kind, beautiful and wise. Will you marry me? Tears welled up in her eyes as she looked at the man who had waited patiently and loved her with all his heart. Yes, she whispered. Yes, I will. The restaurant erupted into applause as he slipped a massive diamond ring onto her finger. Their wedding was nothing short of a royal celebration. The cream and gold-themed ceremony had celebrities, dignitaries, and traditional rulers in attendance. Social media buzzed for days. Who is this woman that married Chief Odogwu? They asked. Olive wore a sparkling white gown that hugged her figure gracefully, while Chris looked like a true Igbo royalty in his rich red outfit, complete with coral beads and a lion head staff. The love in their eyes was unmistakable. During the reception, Olive took the mic. I want to thank 2 people who stood by me even when I couldn't see clearly. My sisters, my friends, my family, Miriam and Ada. You girls are my angels. Thank you for not giving up on me. Tears rolled down Miriam's cheeks as Ada screamed, "Earn!" After the wedding, Chris handed Olive a surprise. A file. She opened it and found documents showing she had just been appointed as the new managing director of one of his oil companies. What? She gasped. You're smart. You're strong. And I believe in your dreams. You'll do great things, he told her. Olive embraced him tightly. In months that followed, she threw herself into work with the same drive that had made her successful before. But now she had more. Power, a platform, and the full support of a man who loved her deeply. The once unlucky in love Olivia was now the woman every other woman admired. And as she stood by her office window one afternoon, overlooking the city skyline, she smiled to herself. She had found love, and found herself again.